Good afternoon, fellow traders. It's Black Coffee Trader coming to you here on a Monday, March the 24th. And unfortunately, we started today off on a very red, or started the week off on a very red note, red across all of my accounts. I'm not super sad about today. I really, none of the accounts are down very far. Basically from about 170 bucks to 250 is about where they are. So nothing is down a lot. Everything is red, and that results in a 26 or almost $2,700 red day. The long and the short of today really was, we really had a very much a sideways day, and I just didn't do well in it, and I really missed a big opportunity this morning right here, this yellow circle. I missed the break and retest of the 20,000, we'll call it the 280s, even 275, 280s, and I missed that entry because I was shorting the N or the ES right here at that point in time. I was in a short, and I completely missed this trade, which was probably the best one of the day. So not, again, like I said, I'm not super sad. Really, we were in this with just kind of a sideways trend after the kind of the morning move, the first about 15-30 minutes or so. And what I was really looking, honestly, let's back up just a minute. So on Friday or last week, we closed right here at this March 7th low, and I was really curious to see if this would push out of here or if this would reject and we would fall back down. Obviously, we did push out. We had a big gap, and I really thought that we might fill that. We did not. That may or may not still get filled in the next couple of days, but we pushed up, and we really got into this sideways zone. And if you look right here, back from this is March the 6th through March the 10th. We were in this little choppy zone, kind of a consolidation barcoding area, and that's exactly where we ended up today. And the other thing I noticed, if you go back on the 4-hour chart, if you go out here to August, we were in that exact same area right here. We were in this exact same range from about August the 14th through September 1st. And so for quite a length of time, we were in this exact same range-bound area, kind of barcoding. And so I think that may be why we had the day that we had, where we just kind of went sideways and just, it's kind of a nothing burger. Honestly, for me, this is not my not my ideal setup. So looking at NQ in the morning session, we really, the play I was looking for was either a rejection of the 417s or a retest of some of these lows. And I actually thought we might come down here and retest this FOMC high, which we didn't do. We held that up and just kind of pushed out of there in the pre-market. So I went long right here this morning looking for this to continue. It did not. Got stopped out of there. That was with these middle accounts. And then I did not take another trade on NQ until I think the retest of the intraday high. And I think I took that with the bottom, yes, the bottom 4 or 5 accounts there. I was looking for a retest of this intraday high, or the high of day today. Once we broke that, I was looking for a retest. Entered it a little bit early, which is kind of one of my weaknesses. I tend to get into a trade a little bit early, and it was kind of true to the day. The setup was kind of there, and you get in, and then it was like hope, and then boom, nope. And that was really kind of how the day went. So I only took 2 trades on the NQ, and really, again, like I said, I really missed this one. This was the trade of the day, really. For me, there was one trade, and that was this one. This was the good trade of the day. So I spent most of the day on ES, and the reason I spent the day on ES is because we pushed right up into the 5,800. 5,800 is this major level that we've seen hold for quite some time, or it's been in play for quite some time. And this was the lows from March 4th, the lows from March 5th, and then this fell into that last Friday, or the 2 Fridays ago, March 7th low. But this area right here I felt was pretty big, and we pushed right up through it today. Oops, I'm on the right screen here. We pushed right up through it today, and I was looking for it to hold. I made some mistakes throughout the day. I'll walk through a little bit of that. So the first short, I traded most of this with these top 5 accounts, my Tradeify and these couple Apex funded accounts. And yeah, we did not have a good day. Looking for this to continue, entered long a little bit at the top of the move, so to speak, got stopped out like right here, and we immediately push back up. And this is a very, very bad mistake that I do, is I will sometimes change my bias, which I should not have done. I entered a short trade, so immediately that was no good, killed that trade and re-entered the move long, and that turned out to be the best trade of the day. And only was the first of only 2 wins for the entire day. But I was in that trade for quite some time. I was in that trade for about an hour and a half. Took off one contract here, took the second one off at the high of day, and then we had this move back down. And then, as you can see, we started to kind of bleed down. That trade got stopped out. I'm a winning trade. The last contract got stopped out for basically break even. And then we had this little wick, and I jumped right back in long. We kind of hope, a nope, a push back up, hope, and then just fell apart. And at this point, I was looking at this saying, all right, we are now below the holds in the earlier test of this level, and we were below the holds early in the morning. And so at that point, I took this red arrow, took this short right here off this wick, moved back down, kind of fallen below there, and all this was just a little bit of a trap. And I got trapped in that, did not break down, pushed back out of it. And then, as you can see, we fell back down, tested VWAP for the only time of the day, and then kind of pushed right out of there. So I did catch the second win of the day was a little hitchhiker set up off this long wick. We had this big little rapid move up, wick back down, push out. This created a nice little hitchhiker setup, and I took that out for about $40, nothing major, and that was on these accounts as well. So at that point, it was pretty much over. I just really had no desire to keep trading and try to find a win in this day. So, just kind of a sideways day, and we come back tomorrow, and it is what it is. It's a pretty nasty, not a nasty, but it's a pretty big red day, $2,700, so to speak. And again, it's just because every single account is red. We didn't have any big losses, but they're just all red. And so when you're trading 12 funded accounts and they're all down $200, it adds up. We'll do a quick look here at TradeZella. It is not pretty. TradeZella is not pretty, down 27, we'll call it. Only a 19% win rate. Ugh, that is one of the worst win rates I have had in quite some time. Average win loss was decent, not what I want it to be, but when you have only 19% win rate, this is not going to get you very far. And we started the week off with a pretty red bang, so only the 4th red day of the month. So if we can, keep going, we'll be just fine. But we're still green on the month. We're still up 1,600, so hopefully we can bounce back and put together several green days, and all will be good. So that's kind of the long and the short of today. And other than that, there's really not a whole lot else to cover. We're kind of up in this range now where, now we're looking at, if we push through the 20,400s here, which I expected we would get to today, and we just simply didn't quite get there. I don't think we did. Yeah, we just simply didn't quite get to this next level. But if we are to push through that, this is probably going to be a pretty rapid move, possibly all the way up here to the 900s, because this was a pretty rapid move down, and then we kind of did this barcode, and then we fell apart further. And so now we've pushed up here. We're kind of in this barcode. I hope we don't do this for a few days. If we do, I'm going to have to be very, very careful, because, again, today was just not a good day. And I need to really find levels and move off of that. And if there's no trade there, there's just no trade there, and I have to be willing to walk away from that. So, but anyway, if we push through, we could see a nice push back up. If this ends up being a rejection, or we fall down below here, honestly, if we need to fall down below about the 200s, we could see something setting up as a possible pullback long off of these FOMC highs, possibly somewhere in here. So again, the levels are there and they work. I just have to trust them. And today was just one of those days where I took some entries that I don't know, possibly shouldn't have. Some of the entries are a little bit suspect, and kind of where I got out was where I should have got in, and just one of those days. But anyway, that's that. We'll be back at it tomorrow, hopefully, and hopefully we can have a green day. So until next time, take care. Thanks for hanging out, and so long.